Dive into the vibrant, bold, and visually appealing manga world and ready yourself for a thrilling ride through 10 most popular manga series. I'm sure you're aware of several Japanese mangas, with both Japanese and Western entertainment industries have broad reach across the world. It has become a trend along with its fan translations and official versions align to read for free. But how about a manga or a manhwa? Do you know what it is? Well, that's okay, since manhwas have recently gained popularity over the past couple of years as online entertainment, and now many popular publishers have recently begun to translate these comics for a broad reach, along with fan translations. Before we begin, though, be sure to subscribe and like the video. Number 10. My Life as an Internet Novel. The premise of the story should be very generic. Main character teleports inside a novel as a side character while supporting the heroine. I honestly love this. I mean, if you are interested in reading the teleport into novel manga, but it's tired of the same generic story again and again and again, as I am quite frequently, this is a very good read to take you out of the cycle. It was beautiful. All the characters were very beautiful. Though it may not be the best out of the best, I have no flaws with it, so I decided to give it a 10 out of 10. The first chapter was quite confusing, but when the story started, it was even better. It was amazing. The funny part was when the MC's best friend adores her so much, so she even wanted to get married. The story is pretty good and overall it's pretty interesting. I personally would give it a 100% recommendation. Number 9. What's Wrong with the Secretary Kim? The story were uninspiring and at times unlikable, but if you're reading this story and aren't immediately impressed, stick with it because it gets a lot better. It was entertaining, super romantic, and funny to top it off. Absolutely loved the main characters, particularly the heroine. She was a strong character but also relatable and kind. The main leads had great chemistry and a lot of their interactions had me laughing out loud. Their relationship was healthy and well balanced, and I love that the characters respected and cared for each other. Handsome, loaded, arrogant, Young Joon is the VP of a major corporation. Miso has been this perfect secretary, practically a legend for surviving her narcissistic boss for 9 long years. Yes, you heard it correct. 9 long years, man. But now that she's quitting, is there really nothing or no one that can stop her from walking away? Well, you gotta dive into this one to know what's happening. I can't spoil it for you, can I? Number 8. Anara Su Mananara is one of my favorite stories I've ever read. It's extremely realistic, and the most people out there of all ages can relate to it. The artwork combines both art and real images of certain symbols that can be interpreted. When reading the story, there is a lot of symbolism contributing to each person's life. The magician himself is the most interesting character, especially when the story of himself is exposed in the end. Yoon Ai wanted to be a magician when she was little, but now in reality, she is a high school student who cannot even afford new stockings. Well, this is where things get interesting. You gotta read this one, man. I recommend it 100%, yo. Number 7. Something About Us. I'm sure we've all heard about this story a couple of times. Boy and girl are best friends, but they develop romantic feelings for each other over time, but they don't want to admit it because they don't want to ruin their friendship. Such a simple story, but so much potential. I love the fact that the story took place in a university instead of a high school. It felt more relatable and real for some reason. I really liked it, and the art style is amazing. And it's a pretty design overall, and I love the use of colors here. They consider themselves the best of friends. Others seem to think otherwise. Well, you want to know how this one ends? You gotta read it. Can't spoil it for you. But stuff does happen. That's very interesting. Number 6. Itaewon Class. In a neighborhood known for its diversity, delicious food, and spunk ex-convict Park Sairoe works to put his hole-in-the-wall pub on the map. This is just one step in his 15-year plan to live a life that would have made his father proud. Aww. As his pub attracts its own unique crew, Sairoe embarks on the next phase, taking down the very family who stole his father away from him. It's time for revenge and to prove to the world what he's worth. Number 5. the god of high school. Besides that, this is a tournament style manga, which I am a huge fan of, by the way. As I mentioned in another review, I do like the tournament mangas and manhwas and animes. They give the impression of who is the best of the best in that series and in that universe. This manga is pretty awesome. It has a great plot with a good drawing, and the style of it's really good. And the story itself is very decent. It feels like a Japanese manga, to be honest. The pace feels very good. Well-known fighters are all here at the national competition to find out who is the best fighter. But a mysterious group called Nox Solidarity, whoa, comes and tries to make a mess. Now, who is going to fight with Mori and his friends against Nox? If only I could transfer my joy to you directly. This webtoon is awesome. Number 4. Nobilis. This manga surprised me. Nobilis is an amazing Korean manga about a man named Rai who awakens after being asleep for 820 years. After he awakens, he takes on the looks of a high school student and unknowingly meets an acquaintance of his named Frankenstein, who also happens to be the chairman of the high school he wandered into. From the on, Roy decides to stay enrolled at the school as a student in order to learn about 820 years he happened to miss, all the while making new friends at the school, learning about the new technology, customs, and of course, the food. The story may sound dense, but in fact, it is very entertaining. The main characters eventually take on enemies, and little by little, their identities are revealed. This manga literally had me laughing out loud at some moments, and at others cheering on the main characters during their battles. And as the story progresses, so does the dialogue. This manga is a must-read, to be honest. Number 3. Tower of God. First of all, I want to say that I'm a huge fan of tower settings. That is also the only reason I made it past the first arc. Fame, glory, power, anything in your wildest dreams is possible when you reach the top of the Tower of God. Those lucky enough to be chosen by the tower ascend each floor in hopes of fulfilling their dreams, but to succeed, they must complete dangerous and deadly tests along the way. But there are others. Of course, there are others who can enter the structure on their own free will. These irregulars are feared by many and are said to leave chaos and change in their wake. 25th Bomb is one such irregular who begins to climb the Tower of the God in hopes of reuniting with his childhood friend Rachel, but as soon as he discovers the perilous path will put him in the crosshairs of fierce competitors. Wait, what? Did I just read that right? Untrustworthy rivals? I'm kidding, that's not a shock. Yeah, those rivals. And terrifying monsters, and he might not make it out alive. This is a wonderful read. If you like a story with a clever plot twist, action, depth, and a wide array of characters, and then this is the one you're looking for, bros. Number 2. Bastard. Bastard was an interesting read. Jin has lived a tough life. One of the oldest memories is waking up in the hospital having received an artificial heart valve and a glass eye. And as a student, he is relentlessly bullied for his disabilities. But Jin's school life is nothing compared to his home life, where he's raised by his father, a serial killer who targets young women and forces the boy to act as his accomplice. Can Jin do anything to stop his father's reign of terror without becoming the next victim? Overall, it's a pretty good read, and it's an exciting thriller, which includes some romance too. It's a really, really good story. It's a great cat and mouse story as well, where you have to follow each other's emotional progression. I highly recommend this one. Number 1. Solo Leveling. Do you enjoy isekai mangas? In that case, Solo Leveling is the manga to begin your newest obsession. If you enjoy sword art online as well, this will be easy to catch on. So, it's very easy to catch on. It's very easy, to be honest. It acts as an RPG and action manga. After the gate opened up 10 years ago, monsters began to flow into the real world. Humans were given roles named hunters to defeat them. E-class hunter Jinwoo Sung is the weakest of them all. Looked down on by everybody. He has no money, no abilities to speak of, and no other job prospects. So when his party finds a hidden dungeon, he's determined to use this chance to change his life for the better. But the opportunity he finds is a bit different from what he had in mind. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then give this video a like and share it with your friends and family, and also subscribe for more Top 10. Stay safe and take care. My name is Zita Khan, and I'm the voice of the voiceless. See you next time.